the stars.
At Ultimate People Consulting, we are dedicated to crafting and executing human capital strategies that foster success and sustainability throughout Africa. Since our inception in 2017, we have focused on understanding the unique needs of our clients, providing innovative solutions that align with their strategic objectives. Through our skills development expertise, we empower businesses to unlock the full potential of their workforce. We offer a range of accredited and non-accredited courses across various sectors, including learnerships, skills programs, leadership and management development, soft skills, and team building, ensuring that your teams are fully prepared for success. Our core values, client centricity, innovation, professionalism, and sustainability guide us in delivering solutions that are both effective and enduring. Partner with Ultimate People Consulting to enhance your effectiveness through customized human capital solutions. Visit us at www.ultimatepeople.co.za, email us at admin@ultimatepeople.co.za, or call us at 011568247.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of It's Tyler Time. Tick tock, tick tock. The time is running out for our annual conference, Harmony People Network HR Conference, on the 5th and the 6th of August at the Centurion Lake Hotel. It's promising to be very exciting, educational. We're going to have 11 speakers, some CCMA commissioners who's also going to manage some workshops, and there's going to be a broad variety of subjects that's going to be taught on within the human resources field, from the LRA in terms of collective bargaining, organizational rights, BCE essentials, recruitment, employment, health and safety. But today we have one of our presenters of the conference who's going to be presenting on skills development. That's right. The importance of developing the skills of your workforce, Mr. Tendai Mapuranga, and he is from Ultimate People. Tendai, good morning. It's great to have you with us.
Good morning, Toby. Good morning, Toby. What a pleasure having me on this podcast. Talking about the conference, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting moment. I hope a lot of our colleagues have registered. Because it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have a fantastic conference, and there's quite a number of bookings already, so it's promising to be quite a lot of fun, exciting, obviously a lot of freebies and the gifts, but high educational content and educational value. So Tendai, you and I have been coming along for a couple of years now. And people in the Harmony People Network have also met you, and you're working with some of the companies on the Harmony People Network. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Harmony People Network is a HR community, probably between 2,500 and 3,000 members nationwide. And Tena, you've been working with some of the companies from a skills development perspective, helping to get CETA grants and upskilling their workforce. But before we get to the detail of what you do, just tell us quickly, who is Tendai?
Okay, so I think in brief, Tendai is a very passionate HR practitioner. I've been in HR. I've been working in HR, I think, for the past 20 years or so. Starting right from the entry as an HR clerk up to where I worked as an HR exec. And then obviously, moved on to start my own company and following something that I'm quite passionate about, empowering people in skills development. So in 2017, I registered Ultimate People Consulting, but really actively started operating in 2021. So basically, that's me in brief. yeah, it's exciting. I've known you, I don't know how many years. I think when we started communicating around 2017, around there, and the journey has been quite exciting. And I must say that Harmony Network has really been very valuable to me. I've met, great clients from there. I've had business actually from Harmony Network. So it tells you that the idea that you came up with to bring, HR people who work in this space together. It has really given a lot of value. So I really appreciate that opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. You say that, Tendai. How many people
Mm,
network is a buzzing community full of energy,
mm,
full of passion.
yeah.
You know, I hear these testimonies regularly,
Mm,
people finding their next in their life,
that's great.
enhancing their careers through how many people network. And also
Mm,
surprisingly, how many business owners actually, and I get this testimonies a lot, how even through COVID, how many
mm,
people
mm,
network somehow
mm,
sustain people through the COVID period and people getting business opportunities from networking on the how many people
yeah.
network. But I want to touch on something. You mentioned that you enjoyed developing and training people. Talk to me about
Mm,
Ultimate People. What
okay.
exactly does your company do? And
Mm.
and I can only imagine that the vision somehow correlates back to training and the development of people. Talk to me a bit more about that.
Yeah, ultimate people, we all about elevating companies and obviously employees through skills development. We are an accredited provider. We offer accredited courses through learnerships. We also offer skills programs. We offer courses that are non-accredited, customized to clients' requirements. You've got, we work with different seaters as well. And recently we have been accredited with a QCTO, quite a
Oh,
number of accreditations that we have. But also, I would say, as an addition to that, you and I have worked through this. We also assist our clients in in submitting of their annual training reports and workplace skills plans as a package to assist the clients. So yeah, I would say in brief, that's what we do. We also in some instances assist with skills audits because not all clients might have time to really, look through their organizations to see what are the real needs there. So we also partner in that regard.
yeah, you and I have been partnering for quite some time now, and you are my skills development specialist, as I say
Yeah,
to my clients. And at the end of
yeah,
the day, you are indeed correct. Both us and you, we partner together because there's quite a high number
mm,
of companies each year.
correct.
By the
Yeah.
last day of April each year, we need to submit
Mm,
those WSP and ATR reports. We
mm,
know quite well what a stressful period that is. But okay, so just tell me
yeah.
quickly, also with our businesses and our clients, you help
Mm,
getting learnerships, getting
mm,
grants from the CETAs. I always tell people, my
mm,
skills development specialist, he is
yeah.
well connected with the CETAs. And if you want to upskill your staff, let's get
Yeah.
Tendai involved. He will get the grants for you so you can have your staff upskill.
Yeah.
What is the value, Tendai, of training, upskilling staff? Do you think it is necessary for companies to have learnerships, to have interns? Why do you say so?
Absolutely, it's crucial. I mean, every business is driven by the skills of its people. the skills are the drivers of business, and it's a no-brainer that every company needs to be looking at at their business holistically, and thinking about what sort of skills they require to be successful in the market. I mean, we are operating in a very fast-changing, dynamic, unpredictable business environment, and that requires skills that are adaptable, skills that can helps to help the company to be resilient, to be competitive. And therefore, when it comes to things like learnerships, interventions, and having access to grants from the centers, that is absolutely important, because what we have found out is that there are quite a number of companies that pay the skills development levy, and they actually don't benefit that much from those discretionary grants, maybe because they are not aware how much that can actually benefit them by bringing in unemployed people to be on learnerships, and as well as upskilling their staff to get qualifications. I mean, I mean, if you look at yourself, you are where you are because somebody gave you an opportunity to learn and to develop. And I mean, the sitters have massive amounts of money that are available, especially to those who pay skills development levies to apply for learnerships, for skills programs, for internships, for bursaries. I mean, it's not always I mean, easy that maybe when a company applies, they will get all the funding that they have applied for. But if that's where we come in to assist with those kind of submissions, to make sure that there's funding available for for internships and learnerships.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
it's actually very true what you are saying. You sort of reference to me also, if I can just quickly tell about my little journey from an educational perspective now. And I think a company investing, in the education of their staff is like a two-edged sword almost. It benefits
Yeah.
the employee, obviously, but it
Yeah.
also benefits the employer. Now, just quickly, some people may or may not know, I grew up as an orphan. So obviously there was no funds or money for training or university or studies and so on. And just quickly, normally, here on Charlottetown, we don't mention company names, but in this
Yeah.
case, I'm going to do a shout out. I'm actually going to mention a name. I used to work for cinemas, New Metro Cinemas, and back in the day, um, many years ago, look, I've got quite a number of years of management experience and so on, and they funded my studies in business management. Um, and that greatly, sort of put my career on the next level from a management perspective inside the business itself. If I may just share my mind, I remember in 2008 we had a national restructuring, and I was at a huge, probably the most, when I want to say biggest, not necessarily in size, but in terms of turnover, cinema. I was the manager at that cinema in 2008. We were a team of 12 people. And through the restructuring process, I was the only person who survived. They've cut down the management team quite remarkably. A new recruitment process, new people were coming on board. But one of the things that I did look at was qualification. And I can just say from my experience, because of the qualification itself, because of the kind of qualification in terms of business management, I started to understand business concepts, which really helped me in my career. And I think the company itself benefit hugely from it. But also me, myself, me running my own business today, it really completed me. And yeah, I must just say once again, thank you so much to New Metro Cinemas for
Wow. Wow.
investing in me. But now,
Mm,
you've touched on something very important. A lot of
mm,
companies have a
mm,
lack of understanding when it comes to discretionary grants. I think when people
mhm.
think learnerships, they
Yeah.
think we need to pay this exorbitant
Yeah.
remuneration
Money.
to
Yeah.
learners.
Mm.
How does that work? What's it about? What is a CETA about? What is discretionary grants about? Learnerships. How does that process work? And how does it really benefit the employer? Make the employers on this podcast understand this.
Okay, so the CETAs were established precisely to promote skills development within different sectors, and therefore, I mean, companies depending on where the sector they operate in, there's manufacturing, there's wholesale and retail, there's services sectors, and therefore there are different sectors that cater for those sectors. And when companies pay their skills development levy through SARS, those funds are then remitted to those sectors. And therefore, when we talk about the funded learnerships by SETAs. Basically, I think it's about 49% of part of the funding that the SETAs receive. They make it available in terms of discretionary funding, or if in the event that they have shortfalls, they've got special projects or windows that are open for companies to apply. But I must also mention, so that I don't forget this point, that when a company pays skills development levy, and at the end of April they can they can comply with the submissions for annual training report and their WSP, they can, they will receive 20% of their, of their SDL contribution. I mean, I've got an example of one of the clients that we work with, that you referred to me. Recently had a meeting looking at, the entire portfolio of companies in terms of their skills development, and they were very elated that when we did the submission back in April. I mean, they've received so much money through through the mandatory grants from the SETAs. So it's not just about applying for learnerships, but also the mandatory grants. So if companies can make sure they've got a workplace skills plan in place, and they document all the training that is happening, keep the registers, the invoices of their training, and then report on it, which like I said, we love to assist in that space. There's a lot of benefits to them. But going back to the issue of the learnerships. So with the learnerships, if you apply for a discretionary grant, the learnerships would have a component of stipends that
Mm.
the SETA or through the companies will be paying to those learners. So basically, I mean, obviously it's not for free because you'll be contributing, but you don't have to spend extra money. I mean, in terms of the training of those learners, and also. I mean, if you take on unemployed learners, you have the benefit of people coming into the organization, learning skills, and also giving you value for perhaps half the price. I mean, because they are already on a stipend, and I know that we normally encourage employers to obviously top up because some of the stipends that are given are quite below minimum wage. But I've got quite a number of clients who have got so many unemployed learners, and they add so much value to the company. At the same time, they are also learning skills that enhance their employability. So you can say, there's mutual benefit to the learner and also to the employer. But it's not also it's not only unemployed. You can put your some of your employees on learnerships, and obviously, there are no stipends in that regard because they are employed. Their stipend is the salary they are on. But it's quite beneficial because you're not paying the training providers like ourselves. But the grant that is given takes care of that training. Not only that, uh, that spend, you also utilize it in terms of your BEE skills
Yes.
development spend. So the benefits are enormous, and companies ought to take care of. I mean, ought to take advantage of those opportunities. Yeah.
I just want to emphasize this one point. When an employer
Mm,
applies, for learnerships, and they employ, let's say, as an example now, unemployed
mm,
people to come and do the learnership in your business,
mm,
there's already a
mm.
stipend that comes from the CETA attached to that
Correct.
learner.
Yeah.
But what's quite interesting also, Tendai, is that even though, the companies will normally top up, but here's the
Mhm,
thing, in terms of the national minimum wage, okay?
mhm,
The
mhm.
national minimum wage for learners, it's much lower than the
Yeah, correct.
normal national
Yeah.
minimum wage. So technically
Mm.
speaking, the amount of money you have to top up is marginal. What you actually
Yeah,
find that a
correct.
lot of companies will actually go beyond that and actually,
Yeah,
increase the top up way beyond the national minimum wage because the national
yeah,
minimum
yeah,
wage for learners is actually really very low. So
yeah.
learnerships is really a tool and a vehicle for employers to train people, but also to have some
Mm,
assistance that's very affordable, if I can put it that way, in the business.
mm, yeah.
Now, my business coach gave me an audio book some time back. It's quite interesting,
Mm,
Tendai, and
mm,
the audiobook was about why most businesses fail, or people who are
mm,
starting their own businesses and a young entrepreneur, why those businesses fail. But anyway, one of the chapters there spoke about the importance of actually employing unskilled
mm,
people and training them yourself instead of
mm,
employing the fancy, the learned, the
mm,
educated.
mm, mm,
Because the educated normally comes with their preconditioned set of ideas of how to manage, but they were making out the case that your unlearned person, your
mm,
unskilled person, if you can shape him in
mm.
terms of your ways of doing things,
I like that.
your
I like that.
intellectual property, they'll become like
Mm,
sponges.
mm,
They are
mm,
often way more successful than your learned
mm,
employee. Now, obviously, we're not
mm,
talking engineers and
mm.
doctors. There, obviously, you
Yeah.
need to be skilled and trained and qualified. But
Mm.
especially from a management perspective, it is the person that you have groomed by hand from a young
Correct.
age.
Mm,
Those
mm,
people tend to be very, very successful. I
mm,
suppose
mm,
they bit less haughty than your learned
mm,
person.
mm,
Anyway, I just want to
Learning
ask
is
you quick.
all.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you quickly, the conference, the 5th and the 6th of August, you
Mm,
are going to presenting 6 workshops for the
mm.
attendees. What on skills development, what can we expect from the conference?
Okay, yeah, it's something exciting, like I said. What we going to be discussing and what I'll be presenting. Obviously, it's looking holistically at how companies can strategize around skills development.
Mm.
What we tend to realize or to notice is that many people, or many, say some companies, not all of them, they've got a tick box approach, where you just say, who wants to go for training, maybe because of our BEE, we just pick up people. It's not, it doesn't speak to the strategic direction and aspirations of the company. So we are going to delve, into how to really assess the needs of the company, the skills of the company, present needs, future needs, and also how do we plan, how do we, come up with a skills plan for the company. You and I, what we have realized is that normally around March, around Feb and March, you know, many HR people, you and me, we're not sleeping because we are trying to get the minutes for the for the training committee. We try to create plans, and see how we can report, look for invoices, and it's a very, very stressful and taxing moment, because there was no proper plan, no proper documentation of the training. So we're going to look at how can we plan better in terms of not just to tick box for compliance, but also to see how a company can really elevate skills development as the main driver of the success of their business. From the topic that I'll be speaking on, from good to great, that tells you that skills, for me, it changes people's lives. It's not just about the business.
Yeah.
Skills are, you can move from different companies, but what you have learned, in terms of your qualifications and actually the skills, is what you take everywhere you go. So I think those are some of the touch points that we will be looking at.
Mm.
Obviously, looking at compliance, looking at the BE scorecard, specifically the skills development element, how to plan around it and not, do like last minute. We're trying to see who do we pay? Do we have invoices? Do we have proof for it? Do we have registers? Are the people actually enrolled? Because as you know, in terms of the requirements of the BEE scorecard, I mean, skills is one of
Yes.
the priority elements, and therefore, we will delve into how companies can better plan, for their skill spend, according to their annual salary, allocation on the scorecard. So I think in brief, that's what we'll be talking about. Of course, to be a lot of discussion as well, because we want to learn from each other how different companies and organizations are approaching the issue of skills development, not just like I said, as a tick box exercise, but actually,
Yes.
uh, you know, because what I've said is I tend to realize in many companies, the top executives don't, when it comes to skills development, because when there's the business is running, people don't have time, and you find that skills development, is it might, how do I put it, might not be prioritized, but yet it's very, very, very critical. And some people in finance, they might look at it as an expense rather than a profit driver. So I think for me, this conference is very, very crucial in terms of us gathering, sharing ideas, around how to be impactful, brace for impact, to be impactful. The things that we are going to learn from this conference, is something that we can practically take to the workplaces, so that we can bring about a better way of doing things. Yeah.
One of the key takeaway points,
Mm.
I think, that stand out for me from what you just said, that people at the conference will learn is that skills development is not a tick box
Mm.
that you tick come April every year when you need to
Mm.
submit your WSP and ATR report. It's actually a strategic plan of how to,
Mm.
there should be substance to it, and
Mm.
actually looking at through a skills audit to look at the skills level of your staff, where you
Mm.
can improve, how you can improve, what funds are available from the
Mm.
CETAs, applying for those discretionary grants. There's much more
Mm.
substance to it. So that's probably the key takeaway that I think that people will learn in the conference.
Mm.
But anyway, Tendai, for
Mm.
those of you who want to reach out to Tendai, if you want a bit of a brainstorm around skills, upskilling your staff, want to talk about
Mm.
skills development in the workplace, and how can you also access or get access to those CETA resources, you will see that Tendai's details appear at the description below. And there's a crossbar coming up with his contact details and his email address, so you're more than welcome to reach out to him. So yeah, Tendai, thank you so much for participating in this podcast. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in action at the conference on the 5th and the 6th of August.
Thank you so much, Toby. It was a really pleasure to be with you on this podcast. Yeah, looking forward to the conference. And if there are any colleagues out there who haven't registered, we are waiting for you. Can you just press that button and enjoy? Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Tendai. Bye-bye. So there you have it, the conference on the 5th and the 6th of August. The conference is typically for HR managers, operations managers, business owners. If you want to come and learn about skills development, it's one of the many topics we have. At the description at the bottom of this podcast, you click on more, and somewhere there you will see there's a link to the video information, the program, who all the speakers are, and also when to reserve your seat. Please reserve your seat there, and then it is a not to be missed conference, highly educational, a lot of fun. As always, everybody gets a gift, not just a selected few who managed to guess a question correctly. But anyway, I'm excited about it, looking forward to it, and I hope to see you there.